That's Logan Seavey, and he's got the 57 of Tyler Hewitt. Paul Hazen's number 57 right behind him as they work through turns 1 and 2. White flag waves, Rob, and they're getting after it quickly here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody last night made it through warm-ups without any type of issues as well. Hopefully tonight we won't have any issues. Don't want to get behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in warm-ups. So we got Tommy Boy Hansing up on the perch here tonight. KTJ, we didn't touch on him. He's a former track champion, Tony. Here right now. Quickest in warm-ups, followed by Bacon, Seavey, Grant, Chase Johnson with us. Pink Grove, California racer. Max Guilford. Out of New Zealand, Chris Ganson, Dustin Clark, Alex Benalis, Brandon Maddox, Tyler Hewitt. Looks like everybody no worse for the wear here. Warm-up session number uno.
You know, he shot me a text from inside his number 9K as he was getting ready to qualify last night, making sure that we got it right. Kevin Thomas Jr. is the driver I'm talking about, and it is Dr. Pepper presents the Ronald McDonald House Charities on the side of that KT Motorsports at number 9K. KTJ from Coleman, Alabama. Originally, it's a DRC with a Speedway Chevy underneath the hood, and as Rob said, quickest in Hot Laps Group number 1, Kevin Thomas Jr. with a lap of 13.119, and then championship point leader Brady Bacon right behind him, second quick.
So group number 2 getting ready to roll out on the racetrack. We touched on him earlier. That is David Hare out of Indianapolis. Owns his own entry, the David Hare Racing CS9 Kircher Chevrolet. He's a regular here at Kokomo Speedway over the last few years. Kind of a privateer, low buck guy. Tony absolutely has a ball running here at the Kokomo Speedway. Loves every opportunity to wheel that car around the racetrack. He's with us here tonight. Also the 4P. That's old Stomp and Steer, Scotty Weir. Out of Marion, and the Scott Peterson-owned Red Rocks Racing Engines Indy Race Park, AFCO Shocks DRC Peterson Chevrolet, second in the points here at Kokomo.
Talked about it. We interviewed a few drivers for a fun piece with Dirt Draft, and a lot of them picked Scotty Weir as their driver if they were playing Dirt Draft Fantasy this week to go out and get them some points. He's over there on the back straightaway in that all-white with the red cage, 4P, Scotty Weir. Working his way off of turn number 4, coming across the start-finish line. That looks to be the number 21B, I do believe. Ryan Barr from Piqua, Ohio. Barr Racing fields the car. Medway Tool Corporation, Charger Manufacturing, Metal Bright Polishing on the side of his DRC with a Claxton Cadillac underneath the hood. Scotty Weir comes around to click off another lap, and then behind him, the driver of the 3R from Princeton, Indiana for Rocksteady Racing, Mid-America Safety Solutions, and Project Oversight on the side of his Mach 1 with a Cummins Chevy heading into turn number 1. That is Kyle Cummins.
Tony, we all know what he can do down at the racetrack in Hampstead, Indiana, but he is very, very good here at the Kokomo Speedway. In fact, he picked up preliminary night wins on the SmackDown last year on Thursday night. Friday night, came home second in the finale, picked up a win here in the spring, so he's got this place figured out. We'll keep an eye on him here tonight. He could wind up in BC parked at victory lane this evening. It would not be a shock in the least.
Coming across the start-finish line, rolling into turn number 1. That looks to be the 61M. Randy Edwards owns the car. Edwards Concrete Construction, Auto Wheel and Rim. An angler on the side of the Spec Chevy Power DRC from Bedford, Indiana. Brady Short points it down the back straightaway here in Hot Laps Group number 2.
Another regular with us here in the 99 out of Harlan, Indiana. He owns his own entry. The Schneck Excavating, Jim's Auto Care, MP Kuhn Installation, Maxim Gertie Chevrolet. The white 99, that is Jack James. Jack James out of the 99.
The 2W, that's the driver I was looking for right there. The 2W of Cooper Welch is over in turn 1. It's an all-black race car. He's from Sheridan, Indiana, driving for Chris Welch, GCI, Gravel Conveyors, and Lincoln Tech. It's a Maxim chassis with a Motorcraft Chevy underneath the hood. He's the 4th or 5th car in line. Last car making his way down the back straightaway. Cooper Welch is who we're talking about.
Local racer here, Tony, graduate of the 600 Micros, as we see in Mini, just kind of getting his feet wet in sprint cars. Good to have Tate Williamson with us. His first visit to the Kokomo Speedway. His first start in Indiana Sprint Week out of Rushville, Ohio. That's one of my favorite hometowns. The 88 Speed Shop, Schaefer's Auto Body and Paint, Peterson Electric and Air Conditioning, DRC, Claxton Chevrolet for the Buckeye Racer. His first look at Indiana's baddest bull ring, and why not do it during Sprint Week?
Exiting turn number 2 in the black, blue, and flow yellow, number 39 for Goodnight Racing. He's sponsored by Lumber and Things, Pallet Builders, and Bennick Enterprises. A Claxton Chevy powers his Maxim around the track from Winchester, Indiana. Matt Goodnight heads into turn number 3.
Also out there, the 34, and that is Sterling Kling out of Tempe, Arizona. He owns his own entry, the Jeff's Jam It Storage, Hoosier Tire, DRC, Kistler Chevrolet with the legend Jeff Walker spinning the wedges on that car. Also out there in Group 2, that'll be the 9Z Zach Pretorius out of Yorktown, Indiana. Jeff and Candy Pretorius on Oak Motors, Fennec Enterprises, Maxim Claxton Chevy. Tony, we're off and trucking here in session number 2.
Hot Laps group number 2, just like that. They're not out for long. White flag already waving from Tom Hansing up in the Chiefs starter stand. They're getting busy over there in turn number 2. Driver trying to find the quickest way around. Is that possibly Cooper Welch?
That is Cooper Welch off the pace here, so I believe only his second night out in 2021. Something amiss down the back straightaway, so we'll get him assisted. Oh, Matt McCarty out there with the retrieval. Home game for Matt as well. He was a wee pup many moons ago, learning his trade here at the Kokomo Speedway before becoming full-time with the United States Auto Club. So he, a lot of laps, has actually made some starts here. I believe ran a modified a few years back, way back when. So get him off the racetrack. Looks like Brandon Maddox, 13.873 is the benchmark right now. We'll see what everybody else can do. So we go with session number 2 before we go into Fatheads qualifying here this evening. Split groups here tonight, just like last night. Jason McDougall in the 5M will be the final car in flight number 1. His teammate in the 5N, Paul Nienheiser, will be the trigger man, so to speak, on group number 2.
Boy, trouble right there getting away on the green flag, it looked like, for, I believe that's the 44 of David Hare. Yeah, the driver from Indianapolis, Indiana, as he was coming out of turn number 4. Car didn't want to get up and go on him, but it's fired off, and he comes by to see the checkered flag as Hot Laps group number 2 is in the books. Everybody making their way underneath the starter stand. Tommy Boy gives him the checkered flag. And Tony, what do we got? Who's sporty now? I want to confirm here because I'm showing Scotty Weir in the 12.931. He's your quickest.
Yeah, you are correct.
And Kyle Cummins right behind him with a 12.991. Wow, 6/100ths of a second here in Hot Laps group number 2. Separate the top 2. Scotty Weir, fastest. Kyle Cummins is second. Brady Short in the 61M third. KTJ down to 4th. And Sterling Kling, who you just saw in Hot Laps group number 2. He rounds out the Fast 5. Again, 54 drivers entered here tonight. So 5 groups of Hot Laps. 30, or Hot Lap group number 3 now getting ready to come out onto the racetrack.
So once again, these drivers, half will be in Flight A. The second half will be in Flight number 2, Flight B, so to speak. So first driver out, the driver of the 17. Getting a lot in that car this week, that is Jordan Kinser out of Bedford, Indiana, the on-the-gas racing by Tech Resource Management. Pratchett's Cartage Maxim J&D Chevrolet for the on-the-gas machine.
Coming out of turn number 4, crossing the start-finish line in the number 71P from Bixby, Oklahoma. Day Phillips Motorsports, Frank and Jill Day. Hitch It, Jockish Flowers. It's a DRC with a Foxco Chevy underneath the hood. Cannon McIntosh, he's been a standout when it comes to USAC National Midget Competition, where he's down in Tulsa, his home state. He's lights out at the Chili Bowl, but he's gotten the itch to go racing in the 410 non-wing sprint car category, and he's looked really, really good, starting to make features with the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Championship. He comes out of turn number 4, and he's jumping in the deep end here, Indiana Sprint Week.
Yes, his teamed up with veteran car owners, the Phillips and 71P. Has been very strong and limited starts in that car. Also out on the racetrack, the 74X, that's the throttle. Shane Connell out of Kansas, Illinois. The Hodges Motorsports, Ortigas Appliance, CSI, Parts Plus, DRC, J&D Chevrolet for the veteran. Shane Connell in the 74. Tony, he has pretty much done it all when it comes to open wheel careers, wins, sprints, midgets, silver crowns, little 500 champion. Shane Connell in the 74.
What I love about Shane so much is that every time you see him, he still looks as excited as the last time you saw him or the first time you saw him. It doesn't matter. Shane Cottle truly loves this sport, whether it's racing a Silver Crown car, racing a sprint car, racing a midget. Cottle absolutely loves it. The 01, just saw him. I think he's working his way down the back straightaway. Anthony D'Alessio from Apollo Beach, Florida. AED Motorsports Products and Boyce Industries on the side of his Ripper with the Claxton Mopar. Anthony, a Florida transplant here to Indiana, chasing the races, going sprint car racing. He's teamed up with Braden Cromwell. Well, they're not teamed up. They're roomies, and that's what led Braden to select D'Alessio to go out and get him some points in our Dirt Draft Fantasy Questionnaire. You have until the green flag waves on heat race number 1 to set your Dirt Draft Fantasy lineup. Also going into turn number 1, that blue and green, number 16, Harley Burns from Brazil, Indiana. Youngblood Farms and Timberland Lumber Company on the side. It's a Mach 1 with a J&D Chevy. And Rob, you got to know, they get that number 16 up and down the road in style for Harley Burns.
They were fashionably late with a school bus stuck in here right there at the end of draw, but good to have him, his first visit for Sprint Week. Also, Critter Malone, the veteran Chris Critter Malone out of Pittsburgh, Indiana, the 7 LLC, Sander Engineering, Sugar Babes, Boutique Maximum Speedway, Mopar. Chris Critter Malone with us here in the 7 tonight. He'll be in group number 3. There's J-Mac, Jason McDougal, the Broken Arrow, Oklahoma native, the KO Motorsports, Hudson John Deere, KBC Graphics, Davis Brothers Trucking, Velocity, JD Chevrolet. And we're going to crank them up here in session number 3. Are out in the 5 car as well. Braden Fox last night's Met Hits Iowa quick qualifier. Ryan Bond in the 7R, also in session number 3. So J-Mac will jump up to the 3rd spot. Quickly, white flag out in this one. McIntosh, and we got one in the fence over there. We'll go yellow checkered. That is the 7R. Ryan Bond, his first trip around the Kokomo Speedway, and he kisses the concrete. Tony, does not look like a whole lot of damage, hopefully, for the driver from Southern Indiana.
No, not too serious of a situation at all. Kokomo Speedway safety, Matt McCarty from USAC already on the scene over there, so they're going to just go to work on pulling that race car back down from the wall over there on the top of turns 1 and 2. Want to say a quick hello. We got a shout out coming to us from Aaron Bales. I got to work with him during Mid-America Midget Week. He's back home. He and the rest of Jefferson County Speedway are tuned in on Flow watching. Wishing they were here for NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week by Amsoil. Unfortunately, they are not. We had a great trip out to Mid-America from Meeker, Oklahoma to Beloit, Kansas, to Fairbury, Nebraska. Great week of racing that we just came off of with the USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midgets. Hot Laps group number 3 of 5 is complete. Scotty Weir, still your fastest driver here in Kokomo, Indiana, with a lap of 12.931. Kyle Cummins is second. Jason McDougal looked the quickest in Hot Laps group number 3. The 5M for KO Motorsports went 13.062. And then Cannon McIntosh and Brady Short round out your Fast 5. It won't matter until we get into Fatheads Iowa qualifying, but the track record here, the single lap track record for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Cars, a 12.405. That was set back on July 12th, 2014 by the one, the only, Dave Darland.
Absolutely. Final car to qualify that night, Tony. So remember that night quite fondly. Here we go. Group 4 on the track. That's Ty Mahako at start-finish line. And the 47, the Bull out of Phoenix, Arizona, the TER Physical Medicine Consultants Pro Strip DRC Stinsland Chevrolet. First car here in Group 4.
Right behind him, heading into turn number 1, the 51T. The driver from Chino Hills, California, Specialty Fasteners, Circle Track Performance, and Bennick Enterprises adorn the DRC with a Ryder Chevy underneath the hood. It's Eddie Tafoya Jr., and that car is all covered up in Steal It brand coatings from the front to the back of their chassis. Eddie Tafoya Jr. driving for his dad, Eddie Tafoya Sr. They made that long 2.5-day road trip from California out here, and they are very ready to go racing after the rain out last night at Gas City.
Visitor with us, first trip ever to the state of Indiana, so that means his first trip to the Kokomo Speedway out of Fountain Valley, California, CRA regular. That's Kyle Edwards and the 39E right here at the start-finish line. The Gordon Edwards-owned WeNeedHelp.com Safe House Maximum Van Dyne Mopar for the 39.
Across the start-finish line, the 29, that looks like LB Racing's Brent Beauchamp from Fairland, Indiana. Lucas Oil, CSI, Indy Race Parts, and Hoosier Tire on the side of his Maxim with a Claxton Chevy. Good shot right there on Flow Racing of that 77S, the Shaggy Mobile, because Shaggy's Consulting on the side, as well as K&N Filters and Redline Oil. It's a Maxim chassis with a J&D Chevy. For Tyler Sturgeon Racing from Mesa, Arizona, Stevie Sussex in the Shaggy Mobile, thanks to Shaggy's Consulting.
Right behind him, the 19 out of Canton, Illinois. That's Chris Wyndham, Big Daddy, the Haywood Motorsports, NOS Energy Drink, B&H Contractors, Amsoil, DRC, Claxton, Mopar. The 19 out there right behind him. The 27, that's young Evan Mosley out of LaPel, Indiana. The Aaron Mosley-owned CB Fabricating, H4 Capital, Mike Walden, Aleworks, DRC, Gressman, Chevrolet. Looks like we're getting ready to wind them up here in group number 4. We've got Mitchell Davis, the Illinois racer, out there at the 56. Lone Jack, Missouri's Braden Cromwell out there in the 4. Charging Charles Davis in the house here Always love to have Charles Davis from Buckeye, Arizona in the 47. He rips around the Kokomo Speedway. We got Jaden Rogers in the 14. We're going to wind them up, let them loose here. This is group number 4. All these drivers will be in flight number 2 when we go to Fatheads Eyewear qualifying. Scotty Weir, quickest in warm-up so far. We got 2 groups left. Tommy Boy, Tom Hansing up on the perch here tonight. Quickly has the white flag. And looks like Jaden Rogers. Chris Wyndham now quickest. He'll jump up for that 4th spot. And the 19, former 2-time track champion, Triple Crown winner. United States Auto Club, Chris Wyndham now up for the 3rd spot. So Big Daddy starting to get the 19 rolling here tonight, Tony. Nope, Brent Beauchamp, who was the runner-up earlier in the season, now he goes P2.
Yeah, Beauchamp looked really good right there. 12.941 as he worked around the Kokomo Speedway. Still nobody's got anything for Stop and Steer Scotty Weir, the 4P, who we saw back in Hot Laps Group number 2. Yeah, Hot Laps Group number 2 is when Scotty Weir laid down his lap of 12.931. Beauchamp, just coming off the track, laid down 12.941. Kyle Cummins, Chris Wyndham, and Jason McDougall are your Fast 5, Rob, as we head into the 5th and final Hot Laps group here.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, race fans, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Nice crowd rolling in. Not quite to the point where we're going to have to start tightening